Long time ago, man was seen as a different creature. They actively participated in politics, public life. Women were seen less rational, confined only to the joys of domesticity, caring for home, for their children, and they're not allowed to vote. But it's all about to change.
This not was that was a cry. That day, in 1909, where suffragists were marching to Parliament to demand the vote for women. Our Prime Minister, Miss Asquith, had promised it should be so, but now he has second thoughts. He feared that too many women might vote against his party and bring his government down. So he did precisely nothing that quiet out into things, instead of mere promises that the votes would be given to women. We wanted the government to do as they said, and if they wouldn't, then we were willing to act as well as speak in protest.
My full name is Lady Constance Bulwer-Lytton. Some people thought it strange that I, from a family of a ruling class, should ever have been a part of such a ground. When we reached the Houses of Parliament, lines of policemen barred off march. Some women broke through and chained themselves to the railings by the entrance. "I mean to see the Prime Minister!" And I was marched to the nearest police station, and from there to court, where I was sentenced to a month's imprisonment. For now I was mixing with some women whose lives we could improve. Women without money for their children's food, and even if they found work, their pay was half that of a man's. As Lady Constance Lytton, with influential friends, I'd been given special treatment in prison. I decided I would join the suffragettes' next march of protest disguised as an ordinary working woman, Jane Wharton. Many fellows of mine were now on hunger strike, refusing to take food and being forced to eat in the cruelest way. So I traveled by train up to Liverpool to join the protest outside the prison. In front of the prison governor's house, two policemen seemed to have their eyes fixed on me. I was determined to get arrested and imprisoned, so I began to throw the stones I was holding. The two policemen grabbed me by the arms and marched me off to the station. I was sentenced to 14 days hard labor, and thanks to my disguise, I received none of the special treatment that had been offered to Lady Lytton. Each day a waitress brought me all my meals, but as each meal brought to my cell, I didn't want any. Then on the fourth day, a doctor entered my cell with 5 waitresses. Then he thrust a tube down my throat. I choked as it reached inside. Down and down it went. Then the sloppy liquid food was poured in. I knew that Lady Lytton would not have been treated like this, but ordinary Jane Wharton was a despised, helpless creature, and when she was out of prison, no one would believe a word she said. There were so many Jane Wharton in our land. We had to have them by winning the votes for women. It had taken years, but in 1918, women were given the vote if they were over 30. Perhaps in time, women will have the vote for the same terms as men. Perhaps one day they will even be elected themselves. I hope for this at least, that anyone in future times who has the right to vote will use it and will remember the struggles of the suffragettes. Did
And her dream indeed came true. It wasn't until 1975 when the UK has its own female Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. She had opened up a new chapter for British feminism and inspired a generation of women struggling for their rights and their social standing. And today the UK once again celebrates its second Prime Minister, Theresa May, marking a significant progress for women's rights in Great Britain.
They persevered in spite of all danger and discouragement because they knew their cause was right.
Last year, the Prime Minister came to Manchester to pay tribute to women, changing the course of history.
Their arguments won the day. and we are all in their debt.